day to you all. I'm in Edinburgh today at the Scott Monument. Now, we did a little bit about Sir Walter Scott on the last video, and that was Scott's view in the borders. So I'm continuing the journey, the story about Sir Walter Scott's monument here in Edinburgh. In the background you'll see Sir Walter Scott there. It's quite a large monument, it's quite a magnificent monument, and it's quite tall. The Scott Monument is a Victorian Gothic monument to Scottish author Sir Walter Scott. It is the second largest monument to a writer in the world after the Jose Marti monument in Havana. It stands in Princess Street Gardens in Edinburgh, opposite the former Jenner's building on Princess Street and near Edinburgh Waverley Railway Station, which is named after Scott's Waverley novels. The tower is 200 feet 6 inches high and has viewing platforms reached by a series of spiral staircases giving panoramic views of central Edinburgh and its surroundings. The highest platform is reached by a total of 287 steps. It is built from Binny sandstone quarried near Eccles-Machen in West Lothian. It is placed on axis with South St David Street, the main street leading off St Andrew's Square to Princess Street, and is a focal point within that vista, its scales being large enough to screen the old town behind. Its size and elevated position cause it to dominate the eastern section of the Princess Street Gardens. History. Following Scott's death in 1832, a competition was held to design a monument to him. An unlikely entrant went under the pseudonym John Morveau. The medieval architect of Melrose Abbey, Morveau was in fact George Meikle Kemp, 45-year-old joiner, draftsman and self-taught architect. He had feared that his lack of architectural qualifications and reputation would disqualify him. But his design was popular with the competition's judges, and they awarded him the contract to construct the monument in 1838. John Steele was commissioned to design a monumental statue of Scott to rest in the centre space within the tower's 4 columns. It is made from white Carrara marble and shows Scott seated, resting from writing one of his works with a quill pen. His dog, Maida, by his side. The monument carries 64 figures of characters from Scott's novels, sculpted by Scott's sculptors including Alexander Handyside Ritchie, John Rind, William Birnie Rind, William Brodie, William Grant Stevenson, David Watson Stevenson, John Hutchison, George Anderson Lawson, Thomas Stewart Burnett, William Sheriffs, Andrew Curry, George Clark Stanton, Peter Slater, Amelia Robertson Hill, who also made the statue of David Livingstone. Immediately east of the monument, and the otherwise unknown Catherine Ann Fraser Titler. The stonemasons and the Scots Monument. The erection of the Scots Monument came at a high cost. to the stonemasons involved, especially to the hewing masons, who were responsible for preparing the blocks with their carvings and statues. This work was done in closed sheds, where they were exposed to large quantities of dangerous fine dust. Things were not so bad for the building masons, who worked in the open, placing the already prepared blocks of stone. Because of the hardness of the stone from the Binney Quarry near Uphall to the west of Edinburgh, used for the monument and other local buildings, Edinburgh masons were especially vulnerable to phthisis, the term used at the time for silicosis. One contemporary observer says that the monument killed 23 of the finest hewers in Edinburgh. Another mentions 1/2 of the whole number of masons employed died of the lung disease. There's quite a few fatalities here. Of course, in those days there were no such thing as health and safety regulations. They just had to get on with it the best way they could. Foundation stone. The foundation stone was laid on 15th August 1840 by Sir James Forrest of Comiston. In his capacity as Lord Provost and as Grand Master Mason of Scotland, construction began in 1841, following permission by Parliament's Monument to Sir Walter Scott Act, and ran for nearly 4 years. It was completed in the autumn of 1844, with Kemp's son placing the final stone in August of the year. The total cost was just over £16,154. The monument was inaugurated on 15th August 1846, but George Meikle Kemp was absent. He had fallen into the Union Canal while walking home from the site and drowned on the foggy evening of 6 March 1844, a tragedy. Statues and locations. There are 68 statues on the monument, not counting Scott and his dog, and 64 are visible from the ground. 4 figures are placed above the final viewing gallery and are only visible by telephoto or from the viewing gallery at a distorted angle. In addition, 8 kneeling Druid figures support the final viewing gallery. There are 32 unfilled niches at higher level. 16 heads of Scottish poets and writers appear on the lower faces, at the top of the lower pilasters. The heads represent counterclockwise from the northwest James Hogg, Robert Burns, Robert Ferguson, Alan Ramsay, George Buchanan, Sir David Lindsay, Robert Tannahill, Lord Byron, Tobias Smollett, James Beattie, James Thompson, John Hume, Mary Queen of Scots, King James I of Scotland, King James IV of Scotland, and William Drummond of Hawthorne Dean. That's our visit to Scott Monument, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. To see you all on the next journey. TCSS, take care, stay safe. If you like the videos, please subscribe. It would be appreciated. Bye for now. Well, if you ever want to visit Scott's Monument, folks, this is the booking office here, and it tells you all about the opening times and discover of other venues. Let's have a look at the opening times for you. Museum and Galleries, Edinburgh, Scott Monuments, here we go. I'll go slow so you can read. And we have discover our other venues on this plaque. I'll go down slow. You can blow it up down the right hand side. It'll extend the pictures for you. Enlarge the pictures, I should say. There, folks.